All right, welcome to another lecture. This one's going to be on formatting. We're going to start, as always, with a screen share. And we'll get this pulled up nice and big for you. So most professors will tell you if you are using MLA or APA. Whichever one you're expected to use, you're going to need to know how to manipulate the software to ensure that you're meeting the requirements for the font type, the margins, and the page numbers. MLA formatting will always be double-spaced, be in 12-point font Times New Roman, have 1-inch margins on all pages, have page numbers in the upper right-hand corner, and they will always have your last name in front of the page numbers. What MLA looks like? Well, again, MLA page numbers, MLA header, title of your paper centered, your paper in normal paragraphs, 23 lines per page, and no blank lines ever on any page. This means that there will be absolutely no blank line between your MLA header and your MLA title. No blank line between your title and your paper. And no blank line after every paragraph. Yes, I have actually seen this done before. Please do not be one of those students. Use every single line as if you're given this precious space of gold, because it is. Those lines are your space for your ideas. You want your ideas to shine. Let them shine and give them the room to do so. So let's take a look at what this would actually appear as in a Word document. So I'm going to pull up a Word document. I do have errors on this, and I have them there purposely so that we can walk through these. The first thing you're going to note, I'm actually missing the MLA page numbers. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to do an insert and page number. They go on the top of the page and they go on the right-hand side. So make sure that that's what you're selecting. Don't scroll down to do the fancy ones. That's not MLA. That plain number 3 is all you need. If you notice, it gives you a grayed out number and a little blinking cursor. So that is where you're going to put your last name. You'll note I'm in the header, but I don't have my MLA header in the header. That would be incorrect. Just because it's called the MLA header doesn't mean it goes in the header of the document. No, it just goes at the head of the document or the first 4 lines. This is extremely important. So we're going to go back to again, MLA headers, first 4 lines. As you saw, they do not go in the document header. Putting your MLA header in the actual document header within Word or within Pages will put it on every single page, not just your first page. So be very, very aware of that. They do not go in the document header. They go in the first 4 lines. Yes, I know I'm being repetitive because I want to make sure you understand this. So what does the MLA header contain? It contains your name, your professor name, your class name, and your assignment due date. Not the date you're working on it, the due date. It's a very subtle difference. We're going to go back to that document just so we can see if I have everything. So I have my name. I have my professor's name. I have my class name. And some professors will want you to have just the call with the abbreviation and the number. And some will want you to have the writing of the actual class name. And some want you to have both. So if you need just the abbreviation, you would just put the abbreviation with the number. If you want just the class name, you would put just the class name. If they want both, put a colon in between. and then that assignment due date. You'll note there is no blank line between the MLA header and that MLA title, and the title is centered. And then there's no blank line between the title and that first paragraph. No wasted space, ever. All right. So with that in mind, the next thing that you want to look at is those MLA page numbers. Just like I showed you, they're in the upper right-hand corner, and they have your last name in front of them, and that is the MLA page number. And that is in the header of the document. Make sure you know the difference, make sure you know where they go. Titling your paper. So one thing I do want to point out is you don't want to just call the assignment by the assignment name. You want to have enough faith in your writing to be able to give it a creative title. So don't just say rough draft of personal narrative or rough draft of cause-effect essay. No, be more creative than that. This is one of the places where you get to shine. So let yourself shine. And then I have a lot of students who ask how to get that magical number of 23, because in a perfectly formatted MLA document, you will have exactly 23 lines per page. So let's check on that sample again, and let's make sure that I have that. So right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 right off the bat, and 5 with the title. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. 23. Well, that's great, but how do you get that if you have this one line here and you start typing and it's not quite enough and it jumps to the next page? You ever see that happen where you're on page 1 and you have that one line and you're typing it out and then it jumps? For example, if I were to do this, mine's already perfectly formatted, but see that little line? We call these widows and orphans. So the way to fix your widows and orphans is to go to the layout and paragraphing. By the way, these should all be zeros. The before, the after should all be zeros. You want to go to line and page break. See what happens when I engage the widow orphan control. Oh, sorry, I need to be on the actual line. Widow and orphan. See how it jumps down? And all of a sudden, I no longer have 23 lines per page. So the way to fix this is to disengage that widow and orphan. You want all of these boxes unchecked. Okay, and all of a sudden, I'm all fixed. I'm going to go ahead and put that back where it belongs. But just so you can see, all unchecked. It's exactly how it should be. Another thing that I commonly see mistakes for MLA is I don't see that 1/2 inch tab. See how I hit the arrow one time? So the way to get that 1/2 inch is not to hit the space button the whole time. I've seen that too. It's to hit the tab button one time. One time. And that'll give you your perfect paragraph so that it's indented correctly. Now, what if you're in the middle of writing and you need to hit it? Well, it's going to do an auto format for you. You can see up here on the ruler, and that's okay for some systems. I will warn you that if you do not print to PDF, there are learning management systems that will actually make it so that that disappears when you upload your document. So, you know, if that's the case and you're having that formatting issue and it's because you did this right here, do yourself a favor, print to PDF so that your formatting stays exactly as you have it. The last item would be the margins, and we're already on layout, margins, and you just want this normal 1 inch everywhere. So again, making sure these are all set to 0. Everything's unchecked. 1-inch margins all the way around, and making sure you've tabbed in. So this is the basics for academic writing and for just academic formatting. The reason this is so important is, if you really think about it, take that same document and make it so that it's not double-spaced. Well, now you're looking at 46 lines per page. Let's do the math on that. 46 lines per page. Your professor is grading you based on page length, so you're trying to get to a 3-page document. And so with the single space on a 3-page, you're looking at 138 lines of context. Let's do this the easy way and double space it. Now you're looking at 69 lines of content. Half the work. This is why it is so very important that you make sure you have everything properly formatted. Please go back through this video, watch it as many times as you need to see exactly where you should be going within Word. Pages does have some of the same features, they just might be labeled a little bit differently. If you're having trouble with that, you can always Google MLA formatting in Pages or document formatting in Pages, or any other combination of terms that will get you the video you need to see how to shift that document to be giving you exactly what you need to have. One last thing, just to make sure we've covered all of our bases, is I did say Times New Roman 12-point font. And as you can see, I have Times New Roman 12-point font. Well, what if I started typing after that and it was in a different font type and a different size? Well, now I'm not MLA format all the way through. The easiest way to fix this is a Control-A, and see how they're blanked out now? Times New Roman. Awesome, we just fixed that. Now let's get it all the same size, 12-point font. Perfect. That Control-A is going to help you out a lot to get what you need. And then a Control-S because you want to save everything. All right, I do believe that is everything that I have for you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, do not hesitate to reach out using the LMS system. Again, there's a great inbox feature and emailing feature in each individual learning management system that's unique to the system, and make sure that your emails get to your professor. All right, catch you on the flip side.